Hi, this week I've added mechanics to the game, an employee that will fix and maintain any machines that you tell them to. These will be more effective when they have more training, with the basic mechanic being quite slow to repair machines, but absolutely vital to keep your business working. I started the week though by making trees shake whenever they're chopped. It's just a simple side-to-side animation that's triggered whenever Lumberjack chops a tree. This isn't final, and I'd like to add more to happen when trees are felled, but this is a decent start. I had to add that as up until now, Lumberjacks would chop an entire tree immediately, wiping out large areas of forest in no time. After that, I was ready to move on to drawing the mechanic sprites. I designed the mechanic with blue overalls and a tool belt, pretty standard. As I edit this video, I'm actually a few weeks ahead in development, and I've now added more detail to the employee sprites to make them a bit more interesting, so keep an eye out for that in future videos. Once that was all set up in Unity, I decided to tackle varied skin tones between employees before I got any deeper into drawing. I thought the best approach for this would be to do it the same way I made hair, making a blank white animation so that I can colour it separately in Unity. Here you can see how that works in practice. I can just add different skin tones in the Unity editor, and my code will take those skin tones and create an employee, adding the work outfit and hairstyle over the top as different components. That was all relatively simple to add, and this was the result. I can also link certain hair colours to different skin tones, so it's generally accurate to real life. Though I might add something at some point that allows the player to mess with hair colour if I have time. Right, so having added different skin tones, I was now ready to actually finish the mechanic. Having drawn the standing sprites first, I then used them as a basis for the walk animations. I imported them to Unity, using just the outfit this time with no skin, so that the outfit can be an overlay to the skin animations I made earlier. As with all things that the player can interact with in the game, mechanics then needed a control panel. I'm getting pretty used to designing these, and hopefully there's a bit of a pattern emerging so that they're easy for the player to use, as they're an important way for players to interact with the world. The idea with this is the player clicks the Add Machine button and can then select any machines in the world they'd like the mechanic to be assigned to. The machines should then be listed in the control panel for easy reference. I had a bit of a problem with displaying the list of machines at first, as for some reason Unity wasn't refreshing the group when machines were added, which it should have been doing. That was pretty easy to fix though after looking at the Unity forum, where someone suggested I manually force the interface to refresh each time a machine is added. With that fixed, this was the result. I simply click Add Machine, and I'm able to click on any machines I want the mechanic to maintain from there. Next, I added the ability for a mechanic to walk to and repair each machine added, in the order they were selected. If a machine has completely broken down, however, the player will need to commission the repair, which will cost extra money. That's why it's important to stay on top of machine maintenance in the game, and ensure there is always a mechanic ready to keep the machines working well. If you were looking closely, you probably would have noticed that the mechanic's clothes became detached from the skin as he was walking. When I looked into this, I discovered that for some reason the mechanic's walk cycle had 14 frames, whereas the skin walk cycle only had 13, causing them to go out of sync very quickly. When I'd fixed that, I then discovered that the mechanic still looked a bit odd walking west. I tried fixing that the same way and spent a long time counting and recounting the frames to check I wasn't crazy and had actually made the animations different lengths. It turns out that was all fine, and instead the transitions in Unity were misfiring all over the place. That actually ended up being super simple, adjusting some variables, but somehow things like this can be so easy to miss. And with that, I finished up the basic mechanic. I'll be adding much more functionality to them in the future, but for now I'm glad the foundations are there. To finish off for the week, I just wanted to make it possible for the camera to snap to any building or object in the world smoothly and quickly without it being jarring for the player. I first just had it immediately locate the object and move the camera's view to face the object. That was very simple, but the key to stuff like this is to always start simple and add the polish and transitions later. Next, I tried just a linear movement where the speed stays consistent all the way to the object. That felt quite jerky, starting and finishing suddenly. I decided that using Unity's lerp function might work better, which basically moves a fraction of the way to the object each time it moves. To stop the camera from infinitely reducing the distance and never actually reaching the object, I added a minimum distance variable, that when the distance is less than that amount, the camera snaps to the object's actual position. I added the snapping to alerts, so you can click them and it will show you the object that created the alert. And finally, also added it to the machines and mechanics rotor, which you can see here. I'll soon add an arrow or something like that points out the object being linked to, but this is where it's at now. I hit 200 subs after my last video, which I'm pretty pleased about. I'm starting to see the channel growing faster after each video, and just wanted to say thanks to all of you who've subscribed. The Discord is also growing quite quickly, with more of you there every week, so if you want to follow development over there or just have a chat, I've left a link in the description. That's everything for this week. If you want to see more, remember to absolutely smash subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Cheers for watching.